I've always loved telling stories, but it never occurred to me to write a book until these 2 visits stirred up all those memories. From a generation where we were taught not to overthink, not to look back or question, only now do I see how extraordinary the 9 decades of my life have really been, full of extreme contrasts. I found myself in a great many odd circumstances, both hilarious and awful, many of which seem, even to me, unbelievable. But I feel very fortunate that I have my wonderful family and for the life I have led. Chapter 1. The Greatest Disappointment. Holcombe Hall commands the land of North Norfolk with a hint of disdain. It is an austere house and looks its best in the depths of summer when the grass turns the colour of Demerara sugar, so the park seems to merge into the house. The coast nearby is a place of harsh winds and big skies, of miles of salt marsh and dark pine forests that hem the dunes, giving way to the vast stretch of the grey golden sand of Holcombe Beach. A landscape my ancestors changed from open marshes to the birthplace of agriculture. Here, in the flight path of the geese and the peeweets, the Cook family was established in the days of the Tudors by Sir Edward Cook, who was considered the greatest jurist of the Elizabethan and Jacobean eras, successfully prosecuting Sir Walter Raleigh and the Gunpowder Plot conspirators. My family crest is an ostrich swallowing an iron horseshoe to symbolise our ability to digest anything. And by the way, the name is spelt C-O-K-E. There's a photograph of me taken at my christening in the summer of 1932. I'm held by my father, the future 5th Earl of Leicester, and surrounded by male relations wearing solemn faces. I had tried awfully hard to be a boy, even weighing 11 pounds at birth, but I was a girl, and there was nothing to be done about it. My female status meant that I would not inherit the earldom or Holcombe, the 5th largest estate in England, with its 27,000 acres of top-grade agricultural land, neither the furniture, the books, the paintings, nor the silver. My parents went on to have 2 more children, but they were also daughters. Carey 2 years later, and Sarah 12 years later. The line was broken, and my father must have felt the weight of almost 4 centuries of disapproval on his conscience. My mother had awarded her father, the 8th Lord Hardwicke, the same fate, and maybe in solidarity and because she thought I needed to have a strong character, she named me Anne Veronica, after H.G. Wells's book about a hardy feminist heroine. Born Elizabeth York, my mother was capable, charismatic, and absolutely the right sort of girl my grandfather would have expected his son to marry. She herself was the daughter of an earl, whose ancestral seat was Wimpole Hall in Cambridge. My father was handsome, popular, passionate about country pursuits, and eligible as the heir to the Leicester earldom. They met when she was 15 and he was 17, during a skiing trip in St. Moritz, becoming unofficially engaged immediately, he apparently having said to her, "I just know I want to marry you." He was also spurred on by being rather frightened of another girl who lived in Norfolk and had taken a fancy to him, so he was relieved to be able to stop her advances by declaring himself already engaged. My mother was very attractive and very confident, and I think that's what drew my father to her. He was more reserved, so she brought out the fun in him, and they balanced each other well. Together they were one of the golden couples of high society and were great friends of the Duke and Duchess of York, who later, because of the abdication of the Duke's brother, King Edward VIII, unexpectedly became King and Queen. They were also friends with Prince Philip's sisters, Princesses Theodora, Margarita, Cecily and Sophie, who used to come for holidays at Holcombe. Rather strangely, Prince Philip, who was much younger, still only a small child, used to stay with his nanny at the Victoria, a pub right next to the beach, instead of at Holcombe.